All right, so one thing that should be pointed out before they start is that all of these racers are emulator runners, so they're actually going to be starting at 0-0 and we'll be adding 25 seconds to their final time at the end.
One thing I would like to ask you, I do not have audio controls for any of them at the moment.
I believe I do. Let me make sure. Oh, wait, cool. And we're off.
Yeah, I'm going to, I'll send out the ping.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. I'm trying to check, but it doesn't look like there's an option to select an audio source here.
Yeah. Apologies, everybody. Imagine a bunch of pinging noises and also the intro music for FireRed LeafGreen playing. Now you can imagine the bedroom music as the trainers start to check their IDs so that they can use the wonderful Squirtle program to figure out what frame they're going to aim for. All right, Viroda's first to Squirtle here. Go ahead and resets, heads down.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was doing a little bit of typing.
Listen, being a commentator isn't easy. We're wearing multiple hats today.
Sing music for us, please. Where's the FireRed LeafGreen reset song when you need it? Shoutouts to JT Magic Man. Alright, so none of the runners today going for Modest. With Modest, he'd have to tail whip Bulbasaur once before four-shotting with Tackle. The benefit to not having to do Modest is you could just Tackle all the way through unless you get growled, and a weird quirk is that Tackle can't miss if you only choose that as your only move for this Rival 1 fight. All right, Viroda first out of the lab. For this first pass, yeah. For this first pass through Route 1, all the racers are just looking to feint one Pokemon for EXP needed for after Brock, and hoping for not too many other encounters besides that. Okay, wait. Alright. Does that volume sound a little bit low to you?
A little.
Here, I think we should be able to...
It's not too bad. It's better. It's better than no audio. All right, good. Thank you, Shreddingly.
Okay, nice. Alright, yeah, hopefully that's all sorted out.
Yeah.
Okay, Viroda being the first one to make it back to Oak's lab. So, we make a quick stop in Viridian City to pick up a package from the Pokemart. And in my eyes, I believe it's the 5 Pokeballs that you end up delivering to Oak when you get back. What do you think is in the parcel, Spitball?
That Professor Oak is importing some of like the energy powders and stuff from Johto. They're not legal in Kanto, so he has to be really discreet. So he's having a 12-year-old run the package for him. It's very clever, and that's the reason that he's the Pokemon professor.
That is actually not one I've heard before. That's a good call.
I think I have successfully switched us to Viroda's audio.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. These are the options I remember. Okay. Alright, so Viroda's seeing a level 2 rat. Level 2 rat's nice. He's gonna tackle twice here. Oh, and that's a high roll. So with that high roll, Viroda gets a little bit of extra experience. From the HP rat was at, it was likely to be hit into a guaranteed catch for the second tackle. A little bit unlucky to feint it there. Kadir also going for some safety, double tackling the Pidgey. That's down to a guaranteed catch as well. Oh, never mind. Viroda needed the EXP. It was a bad call by me. Oh wait, did Viroda go? Oh wait, I don't think I remember encounterless. It was probably just a bad encounter. Anna getting the speed fall from Bubble. A little bit of extra time loss. There's so many different ways that Route 1 can go for all of these racers. You can catch Rat, you can catch Bird, you can catch both. Your main move is Tackle most of the time, so you could be missing, you could be getting crit, you could be critting. There's just so many different ways that route can play out.
Yeah, and another thing that, FireRed LeafGreen will give you over the Gen 1 or even Gen 2 games is the differences in the Squirtle starter that you're using can lend itself to so many different predicaments, especially in the early part of the game as you navigate your different speed stats and everything.
Yeah, all these racers today have very fast Squirtles, nothing lower than 29 speed. Depending on the route you use, most of the time with 29, you'll be able to outspeed both Blaine's Rapidash and Sabrina's Alakazam later on in the run. 29 just needs to grab, or actually all of them would need to grab Carbos to do that. Not a 1% that I remember. Viroda first into Forest. These are official.
Get your cat jams out.
Yeah, exactly.
So for the layman ear mock, if you're new to watching these speed runs and you look at the 3 different Squirtles, you can see some severe differences. Let's just go based on Kadir's Squirtle versus Viroda. Not only the nature, but the things that stick out are the difference in the HP values and the attack and defense. Can you speak a little bit to why those numbers aren't as significant as some of the others on that line?
Yeah, sure thing. So, for this speedrun, there's already a couple of base stat requirements that you need to be able to do the route, and you need at least 30 or 31 special attack minimum. For speed, you need at least above 21, and then attack, they all have neutral natures, so they would just need it to be around 4 or above. But obviously, all of these racers have stats above those thresholds. When comparing Viroda and Kadir, Mild is a minus defense nature, and throughout this run, you're going to be taking a lot of physical damage from moves. So it's more of a hindrance to have that as your minus nature compared to Rash, where only special defense is lowered. But most of the time, as long as you hit your ranges and you're relatively lucky with the fights, which you always need to be, Mild's just fine.
Excellent. Viroda into the bug catcher fight as well as Kadir right now. A bit of just small optimizations adding up over the course of the run. You saw them both swap their tackle move with tail whip at the beginning of the fight here because they want Cursor to start on tail whip more often than not for the next couple fights.
I caught up really quickly. Was that encounterless?
That was... I thought that he had one at the beginning, but maybe not.
I'm gonna have to double check that. That was an encounterless forest, Kid Rocker is saying. Wow. Okay, well that's the first one of the tournament. Imagine seeing one in the very first round.
In the last race, too.
Yeah. Alright, so Kadir's the first one out of Sammy. Unfortunately, he did not leave with poison. Your goal is to get poisoned here so you can enter Brock's gym at about a third of your health or a little bit below. Because that helps set up your ability, which is Torrent. Spitball, want to talk about Torrent?
Oh, of course. So Torrent is Squirtle's built-in ability, where if you are below a certain HP threshold, your water moves actually do more damage. So by getting poison, or trying to get poison intentionally, you can control your HP level going into Brock, like you said, and if you're under a third, you'll end up getting more damage out of your water-type moves.
Right, so Viroda used all of his potions during that Sammy fight, so he's actually shopping early. That's not something that the Squirtle route would normally do, but Viroda's just doing some extra safety. With 7 potions, it's going to be pretty hard to die anywhere in the gym. And also looking at Kadir, so Kadir isn't at Torrent HP, so for these next 2 Pokemon for Geodude, he couldn't one-shot it like Ananan and Viroda are about to. And then the Sandshrew is going to be a range 2-3 hit with Bubble here. And man, Liam Sandshrew is the bane of a lot of FireRed LeafGreen runners early game.
Just an absolute troll. Cannot be trusted.
Yeah, it's always let Liam decide. He's got Random AI, 3 moves, Defense Curl, Sand Attack, and Scratch. And there we see a miss for Kadir. Oh, gets the high roll bubble for the knockout on Sandshrew. Really nice. Definitely was not a guaranteed 3-shot from the HP Sandshrew was still at. And actually with the Scratch, is now at good health entering Brock. I'm gonna hope he saves. Yeah. Okay, nice. Ananan getting a little bit unlucky. He saw Scratch from Sandshrew, so now he's at 5 health, which is already in Rock Tomb range, so Ananan will likely have to heal turn 1 on Onyx.
Iron Dre correctly pointing out in the chat that Viroda did not safety save for the Sammy fight, but then also had to early shop. Absolutely brutal. We hate to see it.
Yeah. A little bit of time save, a little bit of time loss. It's alright. There's going to be enough bad luck to go around, I'm sure. This is FireRed LeafGreen.
Yeah, and the Ananan getting counterless in Viridian, and now all of them being on the same fight. It's just awesome to be this tight so far.
Yeah. So Anan's gonna hope for no Rock Tomb miss. Oh no. Sees it. So that's the slowest version that you can get. Viroda knocking out Onyx really clean. So he's gonna take a pretty decent lead here. You want to get hit by Rock Tomb? Oh no.
That was a crit on the Onyx there. Very unlucky.
But this is why it's important to save before a lot of these early game fights. It's very easy to just turn the wrong way really quickly since you're aiming to be at a low health for these fights. Ananan is through. The Miss Rock Tomb definitely costs him a bit of time and also likely HP setup. You also want to leave Brock at as low of HP as you can, possibly, because without Torrent for the next few trainers coming up, it's going to add about a turn per poke until you get Torrent back.
Viroda's safely through the gym, sticking on Kadir's audio while he finishes this fight, and then we'll swap over to Viroda.
Sounds good. All right. So you saw Kadir tackle twice. He was able to do that because he has such a high defense that after withdraw, Onyx, no way he missed that range. No way.
Unbelievable.
Oh my goodness. So the base Onyx range is 9 and 16, which is not a great range, which is why you're kind of incentivized to do a little bit more damage, which is what Kadir was doing. After one tackle, Onyx goes to a 12 and 16 range. And after two tackles, which is what Kadir had done that fight, it went down to a 14 and 16 range. So it was only 1 in 8 chance to not knock out Onyx with bubble there. Really unlucky. Alright, looks like Viroda trying to stall a little bit.
Yeah.
To take a little bit more damage.
Also, bright side of doing the early shopping is after the endless string of Brock text that you get after beating him, Viroda just gets to go straight into the next route.
Yeah.
Ananan now into the same bite that Viroda's on.
Viroda saw Poison Sting, so he's his HP is now low enough where he'll have Torrent for the next two fights. And
I think Kadir got a crit with his bubble there on the third attempt.
On the third attempt. I noticed Kadir didn't try to go for two tackles. He just straight up went for the bubble range as soon as Onyx was out this time, which I think is the right play. At this point, you just want to get through this fight. Oh yeah, so we didn't really comment on the shopping, but since Kadir is doing that right now, normally at this shop, what we want to do is buy a bunch of potions and then some antidotes and awakenings that are going to be important a little bit later, as well as some repels. Normally, if you're going for PB attempts, you would buy 3 repels. Most people in races, however, buy 4, so that way they have the extra steps that they need to pick up the Mount Moon Revive, which is definitely a god item for races. I don't think we've seen a 1% encounter thus far. Tackle miss, I'd have to go back and check, though.
Yeah, I haven't noticed any tackle misses, but I don't think any 1% encounters yet.
Oh. Kid Rocker is saying Kadir bought 7 repels, which is a bit strange. It's a little bit more than you need, but I guess you could always... Or actually... So you end up buying 3 more repels later to use for Rock Tunnel, so I think he's just purchasing them early, so that way he won't have to buy them in the Vermilion shop.
Viroda successfully catching his Pidgey there.
Ananan playing that Jigglypuff trainer pass extremely safely. So that trainer is a walker, and every 32 frames, it has a chance to decide to move up or down. There's a completely safe pass you can do where you can guarantee she will not see you. And that's what Ananan did. But the walker did not move, so he had to bonk her and then wait for her to make her next move before running around. Ananan actually also playing extremely safe. There's an alternate Mount Moon. What is it like? Walking around Mount Moon, a different path that involves doing a run to walk manip on a scientist spinner. And it's nice to do because you save some repel steps. Ananan already picked up 4th repel, so I don't think he's wanting to risk any extra run to walk if he doesn't have to. Oh, and we see a save.
Even saving before this one.
Yeah. That's some extreme safety. Oh, right.
It's very
right
interesting.
Side rocket.
Save before crossing the path and then going right side rocket anyway. Very interesting and innovative from Ananan here.
Yeah. So Viroda's evolving to War Turtle right now. There's 4 different optionals that you can fight in Mount Moon for needed experience before the Misty fight. Viroda fought the Bug Catcher, which, if you're in Torrent, you can water gun.
Anon into the crit off of a flinch.
Wow. Wow. It's quite lucky for Anna.
We're seeing some pro level plays here.
Yeah. So, Viroda did a very safe optional fight. You never take any damage on that fight, and you know it's just going to be 3 turns. Ananan did what's the riskiest fight out of the Mount Moon optionals because that Rattata always outspeeds you. It has 4 moves: Tackle, Tail Whip, Quick Attack, and Hyper Fang. And Hyper Fang does a lot very early on. And in addition to also having a flinch chance, which we saw. The one benefit to fighting that trainer, though, is the Mount Moon revive can be picked up before that trainer. But if you're going to fight any of the other optionals, which are the Bug Catcher, Youngster Josh, or Hiker Marcos, you're not going to be able to get the revive before those fights.
Iron, I have not seen any HM friend breakouts yet. Also, Viroda and Ananan once again very close to each other, even despite the separate routes and decisions they've been taking so far.
Yeah. Alright, Kadir choosing to save in the menu that he repelled in. Looks like he's also going to be fighting Rocket. Also, I may have missed it. So I'm guessing Anna definitely picked up the Person Berry?
Yes, he did.
Before entering Mount Moon? Okay, yeah.
Viroda's paying dividends right there on that Zubat, automatically healing him with the confusion that has killed so many runs before.
Yeah, you normally want to keep that person for the Misty fight. That's the goal. Unfortunately, if you don't have Torrent, there's a chance to see Supersonic from that Zubat. And it definitely sucks to lose it early there. But it's not too bad, because Viroda's still mild. We pick up the Person Berry because Misty has Water Pulse, which is a 20% chance to confuse every time it's used. But with Mild, you're only expected to see 1 Water Pulse the entire fight. So you're only risking 1 in 5, essentially. For Anna, though, with his defensive and special defense combination, he's going to be at least 50-50 or greater to see Water Pulse every turn. So much more needed for a Squirtle like that. Right, Viroda and Ananan getting past the scientist. Both praising Helix. No domers. No
Viroda
domers
hitting
today.
a Zubat.
Ah.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Which means Ananan gets out of Mount Moon first. And into our favorite move in all of Pokemon FireRed LeafGreen speedrunning, Mega Kick.
Yes. I have lots of words, lots of thoughts on that move that may not be family friendly, so I'll try and
It's a 2-hour run. We've got time to hear all of them. Let's go.
Well, let's just start with just the basics. Mega Kick is the strongest move you can get this early in the game. It is 120 base power. It has 5 PP, and its accuracy is 75%. Now, 75%, you hear that? That's not too bad. That's a C. That's passing. C's get degrees, after all. But if you are a FireRed LeafGreen runner, you know the pain that is Mega Miss. The deep darkness.
75% is, it's actually, C's get degrees is a very good comparison because on a 0 to 100 point scale, 50% is failing, and 75% in this scenario feels like a coin flip. It's just every time you use Mega Kick, it is a test of will to see if you're going to hit or not.
Absolutely.
I can also verify that C's do get degrees. I have an engineering degree on my wall that proves it.
Nice. I'm hoping to follow in those footsteps later on this year.
Remember, you stand on the shoulders of giants.
Of course. Right. So, and seeing turn 1 harden from Staryu, that's what you want to see. Occasionally, that Staryu can Water Pulse turn 1 too. Oh, gets a Water Pulse crit there. But no Confusion proc, so good to go. Viroda also seeing harden. Kadir needs to catch a cutter here. There's 2 options, Rattata and Sandshrew. Sandshrew is going to save a little bit more time if he sees it.
Nan's Personberry coming to the rescue there on that Water Pulse Confuse.
Oh, that's a pretty good bite roll. Okay, yeah.
Oh, that hurts. But gets him with the bite anyway.
Yeah, Viroda. I believe that was a switch out to save from confusion. Which is unfortunate. If he had the Person Berry, it would have just procced and saved him. But swapping out is also not a bad play, especially if you
Ananan
get
having to
early.
restart there. Oof.
Ooh, no.
This is very... so I saw that bite range, and Anan's resolution is a little bit low, so I actually thought that bite killed, and then the Starmie started to use another move, so I was... Oh, no.
Yeah, it was just barely a range miss. That was... So for bite to 2-shot the Starmie, it's about 42%, I believe, including crits. So that's not a very decent shot. So what you want to do is you want to read how much damage your first bite roll does, and then evaluate from there whether you think the next bite roll will knock it out or not. And I think Ananan made the right call there, going for the second bite, just a little bit unlucky for it to not knock out. Viroda now coming to, in my opinion, the most dangerous fight in the early game. There's not really a good option for how to approach this fight. But it's also, and the reason why I consider the most dangerous fight in the run is because it is the first fight we will see Mega Kick used. And hopefully hit. For all 3 runners.
No Mega Misses, no Mega Misses, no Mega Misses. Ananan safely through his Misty Fight. Kadir on the Misty Fight.
So Viroda going for Water Pulse turn 1. Oh, and confuses Pidgeotto. That's actually, it could be useful. Sees Gust and Went for YOLO Bite and got Quick Attack, which is not great. I'm thinking we might see a swap out, but not entirely sure.
Deciding to stick with it, it looks like. There's the Vine Whip.
Yeah, he's gonna YOLO.
Yeah. So going for a revive.
Yeah, so with this Bulbasaur, it can't get knocked out from simply just a Mega Kick. So we always do Bite into Mega Kick, and we hope for the flinch. The Bulbasaur can get pretty annoying because it has Vine Whip, a super effective move. It's got Leech Seed, which loses a ton of time and heals Bulbasaur. It also has Sleep Powder and Poison Powder.
So just 3 moves that cost you a ton of time, and then 1 move that kills you.
Exactly.
Just a brutal poke.
Oh, Ananan getting the flinch and hit kick. That is the dream. Right. So we have 2 kick hits so far. Let's hope for a third. Oh, Kadir kicking Pidgeotto.
I mean,
That's
just fulfilling the dream. We've all wanted to kick Pidgeotto, so I don't blame him.
That's fair.
Viroda lamenting his resource use through that Rival 2 fight, being now down his revive.
Yeah, it's a tricky play whether to... Or it's a tricky call whether to reset there once you get knocked out on Bulbasaur, or to revive and try and win the fight from there. Because trying to win the fight from there means you're going to be down likely some healing items and your revive. But resetting also loses a decent amount of time and could just lead to into a kick miss, which would lose even more time and be in the same situation.
So let's say that he doesn't use the revive there, he just resets and gives the fight another go. What is the next opportunity that you're looking at to use that revive for?
So depending on the HP you would leave this fight at, there's a couple of opportunities that you might get fainted still on this split if you happen to miss a Mega Kick on an Oddish. But the main fight that would be saved for is the next rival fight, which comes up when we get to Vermilion. Luckily, we saw all our runners go 3 for 3 on that first kick, which is really nice. Oftentimes in PB attempts, you're hitting that kick for your life, because you likely got Sleep Powder the turn you bit, so you only have 1 chance to hit that Mega Kick. Oh, we have 1 miss? My bad. 0?
Viroda getting his kick in on that Oddish, though. Love to see that. Oddish,
Nice.
Such an annoying Pokemon as well.
Yeah. Ananan missing a kick. Oh, Anna saying he'll donate $20 if he hits Dan. Oh, wait. I could've... Oh, Anna bit twice then. That was the play, then I missed it. Yeah, something we should mention. Ananan has, prior to the tourney starting, put out an open challenge to all of the entrants. There's going to be a spinner coming up after a hiker, after Nugget Bridge. And there's a couple of different ways to pass him. You can choose to YOLO if you want, and that's a 1 in 16 chance to get caught, as long as you execute it perfectly. And there's also a guaranteed pause manip run to walk pass. And that's the one that Ananan practices and does a lot of the time. Seems extremely confident in himself that he will be able to execute it and not hit Dan. Which hitting Dan is not too bad, but not great because it's going to lose about 30 seconds. But anyway, this is Nugget Bridge. There's not much to talk about here. All of these folks are going to get one hit by either Water Pulse or Torrent Water Gun. So, Spitball, how's your day been?
Oh, it's been fine. Arm was a little bit sore when I woke up today, but we've been fighting through it. We're here commentating, so it's never a bad day. Tiger not showing his best at the Masters, but just the fact that he was able to finish the fourth round is honestly a win in itself.
Yeah, I agree. I was a little bit skeptical on how he would come out looking, but still, I think it was the right decision to play out to the fourth at least.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
Viroda closing in on his nugget now.
Yes, so also this rocket that Viroda and Ananan are facing is home to one of the few, and by few I mean maybe there's one more glitch in FireRed LeafGreen. There's no glitches that'll help you complete a speedrun faster, but there is a glitch with that rocket where he'll give you that nugget upon beating Nugget Bridge, and then he'll fight you afterward. If you happen to lose to that fight, and you go back to that rocket and fight him, his text will start over from the beginning, and he'll give you another nugget. So it's possible to farm infinite nuggets if you want to lose to Rocket a bunch of times.
I'm sure there's an excellent story behind how that glitch was found.
I wish I knew. Anna setting up for the Dan Pass. So depending on where you get seen from this hiker.
Viroda easily passing Dan there, just like he wasn't even there. Like they forgot to put his sprite in the game. Wow.
So Viroda did a bag manip there. Oh well, first eyes on Anna. Oh, no! Woo! I'm sorry for laughing.
Oh man,
maybe a little unprofessional.
Prize pool getting increased by $20. Nobody is going to be mad about that.
Yeah, all good. So there's a reason that we don't see a lot of Dan passes. The pass on that trainer is probably the single hardest pass you can do on a spinner in this game. There's a few other run to bikes or run to walks or like ways to pass other spinners, but in terms of pure execution, there's probably nothing harder than doing that little movement to manip Dan. So yeah, Viroda taking an even bigger lead now. Oh, actually, Viroda fought Nob, so there's two different trainers here. You saw Ananan, he's going to fight the Camper. The Camper has two pokes, Rotata and Ekans. That's a little bit faster. Nob is a bit slower because he has 4 pokes, but the benefit to Nob is that he's going to give enough extra experience to push you to a different experience route if you wanted to. And that'll play out further once we get to the game corner, is where it's continued upon.
Of course, the Knob Strats is a copyrighted trademark of Pulse Effects. Make sure that you clear it with him before you start using that term anywhere else.
Yeah, of course.
We care very deeply about intellectual property here as we watch these 3 emulator runners.
Yes, on their legally obtained ROMs. They all have copies of this game. I was told by each of them before the race. Let's see, also, so I'm learning from chat, because I'm not a very observant race watcher, that Kadir fought Hiker Franklin, which is the hiker that's located next to the elixir that we pick up on this route. And when you fight Hiker Franklin, that can do a few things. One, it gets you early level 25 for this fight that Kadir is entering, which is good because if you have Torrent, then you can replace Mega Kick with Water Pulse on this first Oddish. Also, doing Hiker Franklin could set you up for a different route of any percent, which is Late Surge, which is a strategy that Ananan's been championing this past month. leading up to the tournament, and has been getting really solid times with.
Ananan putting Bill into the teleporter separator, something that I think the Elric brothers in Fullmetal Alchemist would have been happy to have access to.
Good one. Oops. Yeah,
Viroda going to fight Dig Rocket now.
Yes, Dig Rocket. The only person I know who would burgle a home and then just chill in the backyard.
This fight not as scary in this game as it is in Gen 1.
Yeah.
Had a lot of awful experiences with this rocket in regular red. I say as Viroda becomes confused.
Oh my goodness. Just hit the roof? Ooh, whoa.
Wow.
Okay, this is unlucky. And it's gonna make up a little bit of time here. Kadir also not far behind. Actually, all these runners are still really close.
Yeah, given Kadir's struggles with Brock, he has not really dropped any time at all since then, and has been just very solid.
Yeah, if anything, he's made up time, it seems. Okay, so Ananan also missing his kick.
But then hitting it.
Nice. Oh, Kadir's at 5 HP. That's a bit risky. At 5 HP,
yeah, this is going to be...
Confusion or Headbutt could knock you out.
Ooh, hits the kick, though.
Wow, clutch. Absolutely clutch.
Absolutely rewarded.
So, the way trainer AI works in this game is if you're facing a gym leader, your rival, or special trainer classes, like cool trainers or ace trainers, those trainers are all going to have smart AI. And smart AI plays a little bit different from the rest of the AI. It just means that essentially, if it has a move it knows will knock you out, it will always use that move. And also, all of those smart trainers will roll for damage on each of their moves to predict how much damage each one will do. Any other trainer that's not one of those special trainer classes, a gym leader or your rival, is just going to have straight up random AI. Alright, Anna hits kick. Viroda first into Vermilion.
Alright, so we had talked earlier about our shopping in Pewter. Here at Vermilion Mart, we're really just picking up items to round out whatever you lost. So we pick up some super potions, we pick up paralyze heals, and we pick up a few repels for the tunnel coming up.
So, Ananan is actually going to get his bike voucher early. Kadir is skipping the shop. So I think based off that, and for sure fighting Franklin, it looks like Kadir is also going to be doing late surge. Yep, definitely. So Kadir and Ananan are walking into a room where you get a free heal from this lady in red. And that helps you just be at like a safe HP for going into Boat Rival. Viroda did not do that. Viroda's doing regular world record route or pulse route strategy. So he's going to enter this fight at level 27. Kadir and Ananan are both entering a level below that. And what that does is it affects... you're going to see Ivysaur in this fight, and it's going to be a range to knock out with Bite and Mega Kick. Depending on your attack. Viroda seeing quick attack, which is good. It's good if you can enter the fight in Torrent, because then you can one-shot Pidgeotto. Oh, Kadir getting a really nice crit on Pidgeotto. That's good. Yeah, so what Kadir and Ananan are going to do here, they're going to lead Mega Kick. Wow, both of them miss.
And then Viroda getting put to sleep. Actually, and Kadir getting put to sleep.
I think they both got double miss. They both got double miss. No, Viroda got leech seeded.
And so did
Oh my
Kadir.
god.
And so did Ananan.
No, what's happening here? Oh my god, all these fights. What's happening?
We're now going to see some improv on the part of the runners here. Kadir and Ananan swapping to Pidgey.
Yeah, Viroda's in. Ooh, this is a really tricky spot. I think that Ivysaur's out of. Yeah, okay, it was out of Overgrow. Depending on, in addition to you having Torrent, your rival's starter Pokemon is always going to have the same ability applied to their stab type. So hitting Ivysaur to below a third can sometimes be really dangerous.
Viroda about to die to Leech Seed there. Has to Super Potion.
Oh my god, I
don't like this boat. I'd like to get off.
My heart's like pounding right now. That was so stressful watching all of these 3 fights go so bad.
All 3 successfully onto Kadabra. Ananan getting a confusion into a disable on the Kadabra there. That was kind of weird.
So for Kadir and Ananan, they're going to be skipping the gym fight that's in the city, which is Surge. They're going to be opting to do that fight later, which is a little bit faster and a little bit safer. They're just going to take some time loss.
All 3 on the rub screen at the same time. How beautiful.
All rubbing. So yeah, they're going to skip Surge, and Viroda's going to be entering the gym and doing the fight there. If you plan to skip Surge here and you're doing the late Surge route, you kind of want Torrent leaving this boat rival fight, which Ananan was able to get, Kadir unfortunately not. Since you did the fight at a level lower, you're going to be about a level lower until about like 15 minutes from now, I would say. And because of that lower level, you're going to have a few ranges that Viroda's route will not have. So it's important to have Torrent, since you can, with that extra damage, some of those ranges disappear or become a lot better.
Alright, so we are going to see Ananan, Kadir go back up north.
I hope Kadir... Oh! Kadir grabbing a spare Awakening. I actually did not know there was an Awakening there. That's not a terrible play.
Viroda only one going into Surge.
Yeah.
The rest going on some side quests really quick.
Real quick explanation on Surge cans. Well, Viroda finds his first can there. That's really nice. So your first can can be any of the cans that are in the gym. It's always random. Typically, once you find that can, you're going to save, and then the next can will be in an adjacent can. Doesn't get it there. So his next options are above and to the right. Depending on the can that you get as your first can, it can be a 1 in 3 chance to guess correctly, a 1 in 4 chance, or a 1 in 2.
Viroda getting pretty good can luck there.
Yeah, that was a relatively early can in his walking path, and second try isn't bad for can resets. So Ananan already got his bike, and Kadir's on his way to get his. That's the reason why we enter the Pokemon Fan Club. We get a bike voucher. Without that bike voucher, bike costs $1 million, which
there's more money than exists in the game.
Exactly. You'd still be doing the Nugget Bridge rocket glitch to try and afford that bike. All right, Viroda on the Surge fight. So, getting Shockwave turn 1, which is actually pretty good, since he's mild. With the way this fight works is if you take damage from that Voltorb on the first turn, you will end up doing Water Pulse on Raichu. If you don't take damage, you replace the second Water Pulse with Mega Kick, since you won't be in Torrent. Okay, sees Thunder Wave. Let's hope for the best. Okay. No.
There's a double. Yeah, we hate double team there. So as we mentioned, Water Pulse, a very high accuracy move, but still double team raises Raichu's evasiveness, which makes the moves harder to hit. Viroda getting pretty solid luck here with his.
Wow, that's fantastic luck right there. Confuses the Raichu.
Wow. Great. Very gutsy play by Viroda there to just keep fighting through the Paralyze. Gets rewarded for it through Surge. Sub 50. Pretty good race time going for him right now.
Yeah, surprisingly good. So Paralysis has a 1 in 4 chance to leave you paralyzed for the turn, so you can't use any move. Viroda just YOLO'd every single turn, and honestly, I completely agree with the play. Raichu's, it can very easily knock you out with Shockwave, depending on the combos, and it loves to spam Double Team. With the fight that Viroda got, he never saw Double Team turn 1, so all of his Water Pulses were 100% accurate. All he had to do was hit through the Paralysis chance.
I am going to go ahead and swap to Ananan audio per Kid Rocker's suggestion.
Wow, when he hasn't even fought Surge. No, I'm kidding.
I know. It's I guess we're just interested in seeing. So we've been talking about late Surge in the chat. Mock, do you want to explain the reasoning behind this late Surge and how it ends up in, we had 3 runners who were on the rub screen at the same time, and now we've got 2 of them on their way to Rock Tunnel, and Viroda now going back up to get his bike. So it looks like they're way off. What's the logic there? So,
especially for races, doing the late Surge route is a pretty safe option if you're just trying to not have as many deaths as you can in your run. So that Surge fight Viroda did has a lot of risk, mainly because Raichu is faster, it loves to spam Double Team. Shockwave crit on any turn is very likely to knock you out. And essentially, having to restart that fight from the beginning and win it loses at least 50 seconds to a minute for each time you do that, and that's if you reset the fight quickly and you're not going to win that time. Viroda got through his first time, which is really nice. With Surge, it's not unlikely to win, but it's also not likely to get an extremely fast fight. On average, you're probably going to die about half the time you go to that Surge fight. And dying even once is going to lose more time than what Ananan and Kadir are doing, which is they're going to fight Surge late. They're going to have to do a little bit of extra movement because Surge gives you access to, or gives you the ability to use the Fly HM later on. So Kadir and Ananan won't have that. They'll have to bike back to Surge. But the trade-off is they're going to be a level 36 Blastoise when they go and fight Surge. So they're going to outspeed Raichu, and as long as they're in Torrent, will always one-shot Raichu as well.
So their Surge fights are going to be a little bit faster than Viroda's was, but Viroda getting through in one shot early is going to save him time over the safer route. So it was a risk that paid off.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty hard call to make, because if you do feint to Surge, then it would have been faster to play for late Surge from the beginning. But if you get through first time, you're saving a decent amount of time over late Surge runners, over the extra movement that they have to do, as well as the extra ranges that they have to put up with. All right, Kadir, I talked for so long, I skipped over the Martha fight. Kadir is on the Martha fight right now. Gets Mega Kick miss on Bulbasaur. Nice. It's the next one. So this fight is terrible because it's 2 grass Pokemon and you're maining a water type. As long as your attack is high, your plan normally is to kick both the Oddish and the Bulbasaur. They both knock out in one hit. On Kadir and Ananan's route, though, it's a really bad range to knock out that Oddish with Mega Kick, so they went for Double Bite, which is a little bit of a safer play. You can flinch, and that's Double Biting is actually still a range, surprisingly. But if you have Torrent, then you could just Torrent Water Pulse the second turn.
Martha has quite the reputation among FireRed LeafGreen runners as a very nice lady. As we said before, Bulbasaur is a very annoying Pokemon, and Martha's Bulbasaur has all the requisite troll moves to make your life miserable. So Kadir and Ananan getting through that fight unscathed is very nice for them.
Oh, was that a knockout on this? Oh, left it at 1 HP. I couldn't tell.
It is really hard to tell when it's three runners next to each other. I can't tell that last sliver.
Yeah. So the Slowpokes and Rock Tunnel for Viroda are a range to one-shot. They weren't ranges to one-shot for Ananan or Kadir since they're lower level. But it does save time because they're normally 2 shots. They can disable, they can growl, they can do a little bit of damage with Water Gun or Confusion, and sometimes that could be bad. And just knocking it out turn 1 saves a boatload of time. Oh, so we're seeing a question, why dismount bike here? So Ananan's fighting Dudley, and right after Dudley there's going to be a Scientist Spinner. So dismounting the bike sets up an easier run to walk or a run to bike pass on that spinner. We're going to see Anna do that right now. I'm expecting run to bike. Yep, into dismount, into the ladder. So that was a little bit of funky movement.
Viroda getting paralyzed by the Oddish in his Martha fight. Deciding to roll with the... getting rewarded again by going through the paralyze, getting the bite out.
Viroda really just doesn't care about paralysis. Oh.
Seeing a swap to the rat here.
Okay.
I guess to...
Well, so...
Wow.
Oh, well, Razor Leaf miss. One thing about random trainer AI, even though it's a random AI to choose between its 4 moves, because War Turtle was already statused, the trainer AI knows it can't use a status move. So it would have gone for Razor Leaf or Vine Whip there, for sure.
So good thinking by Viroda to get War Turtle out of the danger zone there. Having to heal.
Yeah. The danger is...
there it is.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that was a pretty slow Martha fight, but no deaths.
You can
Viroda
just
played
see in the cursor movement there the fear that Viroda has over the next move to make. As he says, doesn't know how to make decisions. We're just seeing that play out right in front of us.
It's okay. This game can really get into your head in terms of what you expect to happen if you've played this game for a long time over what's statistically likely to happen. And it's not like anything that we go for in this run is all that unlikely to happen. The only thing I can think of really is the Wheezing range on Koga. But everything else is favorable to go in your direction. But obviously running the game, you're it just instills a certain level of fear into you. Knowing that Mega Kick can miss, or you could get crit.
Pidgey getting a gutsy crit on Kadir's War Turtle there.
So it's actually pretty good. Kadir and Anna now both out of Rock Tunnel. Kadir has pretty decent health here. You kind of want a low level of Torrent for this next section, because you'd ideally like to carry it through your evolution, so Blastoise has Torrent for its first fight. And Kadir's definitely at an HP where that's possible if he can take one more quick attack, I think. Right, Anna entering the game corner. Screw the speedrun, wants to gamble a little bit.
Yeah. Viroda getting his gambling out of the way through his Paralyze Heal plays. This is actually one of the first big divergences from the actual Gen 1 speedrun, because Gen 1, of course, skips Game Corner entirely. The Gen 3 remakes here don't get that luxury and have to go into the labyrinth underneath the Game Corner.
Yeah, Ananan got a quick attack crit by the Eradicate from that rocket, which looked a little bit scary, but that leaves him at perfect HP for this next section. Since that single-digit HP is definitely low enough, especially since Anan's going to have to use 3 candies here, whereas Viroda is going to have to only use 2. He should be at a low enough HP where Torrent will carry over through the evolution, which is really nice because it saves a turn on a fight later. So right now it's kind of difficult to tell who's ahead. We have the first 2 runners, Anna and Kadir, both skip Surge. They're doing the late Surge route. So they're gonna lose. They're still gonna lose a little bit of time later when they do eventually have to fight him. While Viroda did fight, so it's kind of hard to distinguish until that happens. Normally, we'll know once they all enter Pokemon Tower. On grabbing the lift key from the floor of that rocket. Not very focused. Has some butterfingers, drops the lift key that is the only key to make this elevator work. Also picking up the Moonstone.
Viroda not with the crispest movement there in that little rock tunnel section. Having to bonk a couple of times to get his bearings straight, but into the picnicker fight.
Okay. So misses kick into Poison Powder, which this is fine. I don't think he has to heal here. Oh, okay, he's using... Oh! Did he use Elixir right now?
He did.
Okay.
Oh, was he out of kicks?
Yeah, so normally you would use that elixir earlier on the last repel menu that you have. I think Viroda was trying to save it so that way he would for sure have 5 kicks after Rock Tunnel, but misses his only kick left, so has to use it here. Oh no.
Viroda safely through Rock Tunnel.
Alright. Getting past Rock Tunnel is always a really nice point in a run. Because for FireRed LeafGreen, a lot of the risk that you take in the run is concentrated early on. Especially with Surge, and then after you get past Surge, you have to get through the Rock Tunnel split, which is that difficult Martha fight that we saw Viroda have some struggles on, as well as the other 2 runners. But also just not losing time in that split. We saw Viroda get paralyzed. There's also, I think, 5 different kicks that you have to hit during that split. And just like missing any of them is gonna produce like about 15 to 20 seconds of time loss. But after that, the route starts to stabilize and things normally go more according to plan. Luckily, since you're not really using Mega Kick after this point.
Ananan at 4 HP as he uses his rare candies to get into Blastoise mode here. Which means he should be carrying Torrent, like you had mentioned, through the evolution, so he's got it for the first fight as the big boy.
Yeah. If I could offer some advice, I would say definitely don't mash B during any evolution cutscenes. That you might get could come back to haunt you. I'm also going to check. Okay, so Ananan, okay, so he's at 26 HP, which is pretty low. But it's also Torrent, so he's gonna have the opportunity for a fast fight on Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan has, or this fight, Giovanni, even though he is a boss, he has random AI anytime he's in a rocket hideout for whatever reason. Kangaskhan has 4 moves: Tail Whip, Bite, Fake Out, and Mega Punch. Here, Mega Punch is doing 22 to 27 damage on Ananan's defense, so he's actually arranged to die to it if that's what it picks. And if he sees Fake Out turn 1, then he will definitely be in range to get knocked out from it. Okay, doesn't get Fake Out. Alright, okay.
Ooh, low roll.
Yeah, nice slow roll.
I think that'll make Ananan feel a little bit better about some of the luck Viroda's been getting. That was a pretty good sequence for him.
Yeah, and an overall really good split, especially when you can get the 2-shot on Kinga there. Because even though sometimes it's hard to get that setup where you can get that, and even when you do get it, sometimes he'll just Fake Out anyway, so it's a 3-turn fight. So Ananan and Kadir are going to be doing a little bit different biking after leaving the game corner than Viroda will be doing. They're going to be grabbing Fly early, whereas Viroda is actually going to go shopping first. And there's Fly Girl.
Viroda reiterating that he has messed up his experience route. He needed to be 33 after the end of that last fight.
Okay. I'm trying to think of where it was messed up, though. But well. So, Viroda took an optional fight to reach the experience curve he needed. So he's definitely doing Pulse Route, which is compared to the route Kadir and Ananan did for this hideout. Wow, Kadir. Ooh. Oh my gosh, okay. That was an extremely risky play there. Saw Tail Whip turn 1 into Mega Punch. And without
Tail
Torrent,
Whip, of course, lowering your defense, making the range bigger that you could fall into.
Ananon's leaving the Celadon shop right now. We just go in here and buy the rest of our X specials that we'll need for the rest of the run, as well as like X accuracies, speeds if they're needed, things like that. Also a good opportunity to sell the nugget and buy extra items, just for race safety. So Anan's getting the T here, and you see those 2 Pokemon NPCs. It's a Clefairy and a female Nidoran. They act just like walkers, have the same cycles in terms of when they get the opportunity to move. But boy, do they love to block you trying to get that T.
That's a good tidbit.
Yeah. Right, so Ananan is now going to be on his way to fight Surge. Okay. Risks some extra grass tiles there, but is not punished.
That's a 1% on those tiles, isn't it?
So it's a 1% if he only took 6, but he took 8. But he entered the grass a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Oh, wow. Ananan getting great can luck. Right? Do you think he checks up or left? It's always up. It's always the most optimal can. Yep. Right, so that was pretty good can luck for Ananan, even better than Viroda's cans. So it's going to save even more time on Viroda's surge split from earlier.
So Ananan into his surge fight now. Kadir on his, making his way downtown, as it were. Biking fast. Police officers pass.
I forgot another benefit, slight benefit, is that as a Ward Turtle, Voltorb can speed tie you or just straight up outspeed you, so that'll also get an extra turn. Blastoise will always outspeed all three of these Pokemon. And I'm getting a really clean gym. And that's exactly why you would want to do Surge late. No time loss for doing, or like, no time loss in fight for doing this fight late. It only requires the extra movement and for you to deal with a few more ranges in Rock Tunnel.
Kadir with really good can luck as well.
Yeah, getting the corner can.
Oh, doesn't even save. What a... deciding whether or not to go bottom or straight up and counter on the gentleman. Viroda now fighting Giovanni. Kangaskhan tail whipping.
Yeah. So now Ananan's going to be making his way to Pokemon Tower, and this is where the routes would meet up again, since Ananan has now fought Surge. So Ananan's a pretty decent chunk ahead right now. Also doing a safety save before this fight. One other benefit to doing late Surge is, since you get the Surge EXP late, you're going to hit level 37 for this fight, which makes one version of this fight, which is, there's two versions, X-Attack strats and X-Spec strats. With X-Spec strats, it's normally a 13 and 16 range to knock out Ivysaur with Torrent Water Pulse, but if you're 37, it's guaranteed every time. Ananan did the X-Attack strats here, which... Oh!
Ananon's input getting eaten there, it looks like.
Yeah. Okay. We should mention, so on X-Attack strats, he used an X-Attack, used an X-Accuracy, and used Guard Spec. The Guard Spec, unfortunately, would normally block that Intimidate from Gyarados, but because he wasn't able to one-shot Pidgeotto, the Guard Spec didn't last long enough. Also, should say that an X-Act Mega Kick is not 100% accurate, it becomes 99% accurate. Okay, Ananan's through. And that HP is a little bit high, but not too bad.
Kadir now ready for his tower rival. Viroda heading to get the Fly HM.
Okay. Kadir also going for X-Attack strats.
He is able to one-shot the Pidgeotto.
Alright, nice. So this will be a good example of how X-Attack strats are supposed to play out. Because it's really useful that the guard spec is able to last to this Intimidate. Allows you to just one-shot Gyarados, since you didn't basically just waste your X attack.
Viroda now starting his rival fight, so we've got all three runners in the tower now. Still very, very close.
Yeah, and has a decent lead, but it's nothing that some average bad luck wouldn't lead to the others catching up. Like, it wouldn't take too much still. Oh, Viroda's saying his input got eaten. Oh, crits Ivysaur. Nice. I guess that works. Yeah, Viroda's high HP here, and your goal is to get into Torrent for, like, basically this next whole section. So he wants to take some damage from Gyarados. Okay. He's gonna take 2 Thrashes, and he's at 49, still a decent amount out of Torrent, so it's possible we could see a Marowak stall later on for Viroda. And you're wondering where you see that Marowak? Well, look at Ananan screen.
The ghost was Marowak the whole time.
The whole time. Unfortunately, you cannot catch it because it is a ghost. The Pokeballs will just phase through. Another interesting thing is that Ghost Marowak has special Ghost IVs. It is 31 IV'd in every single stat. HP, attack, defense, special defense, and speed. Which could be a problem if we weren't a water type starter with stab 60 power base move and we're in Torrent. Ananon's in the final room of Pokemon Tower. And it's funny because everywhere else, throughout the rest of the run pretty much, you're going to want to talk to any trainer that you fight. And you see Ananan just walking straight up, and he's letting all of these rockets see him. So, even though it looks pretty slow, it's actually the fastest way to get through this room. And the reason is because, unlike all the other trainers you would normally fight in this game, these rockets talk to you after and then exit the room. So when you walk up the middle, you're giving them the least amount of steps to walk down to the bottom of the room after you're done defeating them. Because they could all just walk straight down if you walk down the middle. Whereas if you talk to them, they have to go, like, they go to the center of the room and then walk down.
We love these little optimizations throughout the run that add up.
Yeah, the differences aren't much here. It looks like Ananan's about a fight and a half ahead of Kadir, and Kadir is only about a fight ahead of, or about a fight and a half ahead of Viroda. Which
There's
is
Viroda with that,
those aren't large margins.
With that Marowak stall working out for him, getting him down to 17.
Yeah, that's much better health. Actually, from this health, there's a lot of possibilities since we grab an Oron Berry earlier while we're on the Bill split. And that mainly becomes useful for here, and then if you don't decide to use it here, it becomes useful possibly in the late game. But the goal here now that we've gotten the flute, beaten Pokemon Tower. The next gym trainer we're going to fight is Koga. And for Koga, the fight almost always requires you to be in Torrent. But due to some of the high attack on Muck and Wheezing, as well as the level we enter the gym at, it becomes a little bit dangerous to hold Torrent as well as be at an HP where you won't be arranged to get knocked out by either Muck or Wheezing. And I'm doing a biker pass here. Oh, okay. Okay.
Wow.
I'm not sure if that was planned, but if that was on the fly, that was a great recovery. All of those bikers have an opportunity to spin every 32 frames. And there's a couple of different ways you could pass them. Whenever you go into your bag, you reset their timers so they can't spin for another 32 frames. And we saw Ananan do that later on. Another important thing to note is that 32 frame rule. So that's how long that they have to wait until they can decide. And all your movements on a bike are 6 frames a piece. So Ananan knew from that spot where he bag manipped that he was totally fine to just bike straight down afterward, because the bike was going to move too fast for him to be caught. Alright, Kadir now waking up his Snorlax.
Snorlax overworld
Will we
sprite
see
in
a
this
shiny?
game looks so derpy.
Yeah, I wish, having played other Pokemon games since then, this actually was my first Pokemon game I ever played, LeafGreen and FireRed. But having gone on to play other games, I really wish they would have like double or tripled the overworld sprite size for Snorlax. Just would have been funnier and more, I think, like true to what they were trying to portray. Because they basically just make the sprite the same size as you are, and that is not how big a Snorlax is. Ananan and Kadir both picked up hidden items while cycling down Cycling Road. Rare Candy, going to be useful like almost immediately, especially for Kadir and Ananan, as well as a Max Elixir. The Max Elixir is going to be important for restoring PP later. Another fun tip, on Cycling Road, once you're past that original spinner pass and you get just a little bit further down, Cycling Road is on a hill, so you get momentum going down. And you're just automatically taken down even if you don't have your any like finger on the D-pad. However, if you do hold down, you'll go down even faster. Hitball? Gifting during commentary?
I don't know what you're talking about. As we see Ananan go into the first juggler fight here.
Yeah. Oh, well, what else to talk about? So Safari Zone, we missed that. Kadir is currently in there. Oh, well, actually, let's focus on Viroda doing his run to bike pass, or his biker pass.
Yeah, let's watch what...
Okay, a bag minute. Okay, play safe. Okay,
there he is.
Okay, yeah. Nice. Playing safe is always faster than getting caught.
The Safari Zone discussion for the regular any percent run is much less interesting than it is for round 2, because in round 2 you do a whole lot of your catches in Safari Zone. Whereas for this, we're mostly just repelling all the way through until we get the items that we want. So, not a whole bunch to discuss until the runners make their way to Koga.
Interesting choice in items that you pick up, though. You find a random pair of golden teeth. I like to think it's just a lucky pair of teeth, and maybe you should just keep it to the end of the game. But unfortunately,
I mean, the fact that we get a description means that they were picked up, examined, we determined what they were, and then decided to put them into our bag. So,
That is true. Ananan being the first to start his Koga fight. On the late surge route, with the experience route you get to Candy early here. So him and Kadir are both going to be level 42 for the Koga fight. While Viroda is going to be level 39/40. And the benefits to being 42, obviously, you're going to take a little bit less damage from Muck and Wheezing. You're also going to have more HP to fit into Torrent. And also, Wheezing Oko range. With Surf on the base route is... not 4. It's 6 and 16. And here at level 42, it's 11 and 16. And... Ooh. Just misses it.
Yet again, it is impossible for me to tell that sliver of HP from anything else.
Yeah, I didn't want to announce until I saw Wheezing make its move, if it had one.
This time, though, gets it.
Yeah, so even though Ananan missed the range there, that was still a pretty clean fight. What you really don't want to happen there is see Sludge into Sludge Poison, because since you're in Torrent, any Sludge roll that also gives you Poison will always knock you out. There's no safe Torrent HP where you're going to live that. And definitely fainting there can lose a decent amount of time. It could also kind of affect your PP for the next couple of fights. Okay, Kadir now starting his Koga fight. Okay, yeah, also level 42.
Ananan flying back home, just to head south to Cinnabar Island. And Cinnabar is where we're going to have the optional Carbos pickup. Is that correct?
Yes. Pokemon Mansion is where we're going to be grabbing the Carbos. That Carbos can come into play on either the next coming fight or the gym fight, or 2 gym fights later.
Kadir did end up dying to Wheezing there.
That's pretty unlucky.
Revive, Hyper Potion, putting Wheezing back to full.
Yeah, we should just see Double Surf from... Oh, gets Toxic Miss. That health is pretty high for Kadir. That's not exactly what you want, but getting through the fight is what you want. So that's fine.
Depending on how Viroda's fight goes now, we might be able to see some interesting differences between where him and Kadir go from here. Just based on their HP level. But Viroda, of course, being one level, Blastoise level lower than Kadir.
Oh yeah, so now would be, since we saw Ananan grab Carbos, it's a better time to talk about speed marks in this game. So all of these runners have 29 and above, so I'll only talk about the benefits of 29 and above. At 29 speed is when you start automatically outspeeding Blaine, just based off your speed IV. Ananan and Kadir are doing late surge, so on their route, more IVs automatically outspeed Blaine's Rapidash. But on the base route, 29 is what you need to start doing that. In addition to that, for 29 exactly, if you're able to get 3 speed EVs as well as use the Carbos, you're going to end up being faster than Sabrina's Alakazam later.
Viroda easily threw a Koga there with double Water Pulse.
Actually gonna save time over both runners. That was the cleanest Koga fight out of the three. But yeah, so at 29 speed, Carbos plus 3 EVs will let you outspeed Sabrina's Alakazam. At 30, you don't need the extra speed EVs, you just need Carbos. Alright, we're 2 for 2 on Carbos pickups.
Do you want to address Shreddingly's question there regarding the reference to 3 speed EVs?
Oh, okay, so yeah, I can go ahead and address that. So normally every 4 is when you would see a stack go up, but taking into account all of the speed EVs that you've already acquired over the course of this run, by the time you get to this point, you only need 3 extra to be able to outspeed there. So like you're essentially already on 1 cycle, or like on 1 EV from a previous cycle, so you only need the other 3 to boost up the stat. I'm not sure what that optional had. If it had a speed EV, then Viroda should definitely grab the Carbos.
Viroda taking an interesting path to selecting the switch there. Kind of does a little dance next to the statue before acknowledging it and picking up the Carbos.
Alright.
Ananan through Blaine on his way back. Out of the gym, Kadir navigating the Poke Quiz expertly here.
Yes, all these quiz questions are actually the same yes-no order of answers as Gen 1. The questions are just a little slightly different.
Oh. Viroda getting a last tile encounter here.
Wow. Should maybe catch it. It could have an Oron Berry or a citrus.
Yeah, it's probably
berry.
lucky. Am I at Pokerus?
Ooh, it could.
So kind of the writing on the wall here for the runners as we watch Viroda teach Blizzard to his Blastoise. That move now going to become the focus of our ire over the next few important fights in the game due to its own issues with accuracy.
Yeah. Blizzard, a much better move in Gen 1 where it's 90% accurate. For Gen 3, they decided we need to make this game with more impact, more style. We need more content. Let's make Blizzard miss 30% of the time. And they were right. It does miss 30% of the time, except it probably misses a little bit more than that, I would say, on average.
The old 30% coin flip.
Even worse is that 70% accuracy is so low that after using an X accuracy, you are still not at 100%. An exact Blizzard goes from 70% to 93%, so you're still not out of the woods, even after doing some extra safety. It's and some of the Blizzards later are so important for you to hit that we might see some of these runners actually use double X-Act just to make Blizzard 100% accurate.
That's what we like to refer to as the esports portion of the run.
Yes. And on fighting Erica, there's 2 strategies for Erica. If you're in Torrent, you can always surf Victory Bell. If you're not, you have to use Blizzard. Let's see what Ananan does. Anana's going for Bite Tangela, so that means he's going to Blizzard Vileplume. Let's hope it hits. Nice.
Why does
the
bite on Tangela there tell you that he's going to end up blizzarding Vileplume?
So, it's the way the fights play out on whether you're going to use that blizzard or not. So you could always go for that YOLO blizzard. There's only one. It's fast, super effective. The other option, if you don't want to risk that blizzard YOLO, is you can X special on Tangela. Normally, Tangela doesn't use a damaging move, but if you're at a high enough HP, you'll tank it anyway. And after an X special, if you're still in Torrent, then Torrent Surf +1 kills Vileplume. So no need to go for a non-100% accurate move there. Ananan was at low health, though, and I think just didn't want to heal, so decided to go for YOLO Blizzard. It is the faster play, and I mean, 70% of the time it works. He's also setting up for a Walker Pass here. Very nice. That Walker Pass was only recently, or by recently I mean within this past year, that we started to realize that it was probably better to start getting to the 5th floor by using that teleport path and setting up a pause minute on that scientist. Normally what we would do is we would just climb all of the stairs to the 5th floor and then run underneath the scientist and essentially YOLO, but what that does is it gives that scientist a chance to walk down and catch you, because he has a vision of 1. However, if you take the teleporter, since you spawn really close to him, you just run a certain amount of tiles and do a pause minute right at his exact timing of when he needs to decide if he's going to move or not. For Ananan, he got there and the scientist definitely decided not to move. If he does decide to move, by the time you pause, you will see him already start to move, so it's easy to tell, and then if that happens, you could just run around and safely pass.
Kadir about to go into his Erica fight, saving beforehand. Ananan saving before the rival fight. Gyarados starts to get more scary every time we see it from here on out.
Yeah. We talked about Erica when Ananan was there. Kadir's at pretty high health. I think he's just gonna, he's probably just gonna go for the YOLO Blizzard since he's not going to die to a Giga Drain. This is also potentially health where he wouldn't have to heal for self-rival. Nice. Gets the Blizzard.
So he does get the Blizzard, which is, great. He gets through the Erica fight quicker. How soon are we going to see this high health relative for him come into play and start to actively hurt him?
So it actually isn't going to hurt him at all from this point on, since after Erica, or before self-rival, you want to heal to somewhere around like 75 to 90 HP, depending on what your defensive IV is and what nature you have. So he's actually potentially just fine to not even heal. He could just carry this HP in if he's only going to do +1 strats on self-rival. Also, we missed it, but Ananan hit his 93% Blizzard on Venusaur. This is one of those fights where we X-Act Blizzard because if on this fight, if Blizzard is missed, you will get fainted, and since you already set up 1 or 2 X-Specs and an X accuracy, it costs a lot on those items. And also why he's saved, but if you have to reset, you're still going to lose about a minute. Oh.
Well, it's because... You go ahead, I apologize.
Oh, I was just saying, Viroda saying his input got eaten. Go ahead.
Just Wanley mentioning that in Gen 1, X-Acts do a lot more. They do. A single X-Act in Gen 1 will raise your accuracy all the way to 100%. Some would say the best games ever created, and I wouldn't argue with them. So, and really, what are these games except rip-offs of Gen 1? I don't really understand why it's such a big deal. This is already done in '98, so.
I mean, Red and Blue, I feel like, lays the base work for what Pokemon would eventually come to be. Those games are pretty broken, though. I'm not sure if I'd love playing a game where I can't play a glitchless run of it just playing casually.
All right. And on into the Giovanni fight.
So yeah, this is another Giovanni fight in a rocket hideout. So you know what that means. This is all random AI from Geo. Viroda going extremely safe. Waiting for a scientist movement. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay. Still plays risky, but gets through. We're chilling. Also, so there's a rocket that Viroda is avoiding here, as Ananan hits a 13 and 16 range on Kangaskhan. But that spinner's unique that Viroda is passing. We do a bag manip every time because that's the only for sure safe way to pass this. There's a safe pass on the third pass you do of him if you get an instant quick spin, but that's not very likely. So this spinner, unlike other spinners where other spinners get 32 frames before they have to make their next decision, this spinner only gets 32 frames before the first time he can decide. Every time after that, he's going to decide again on every 16 frames. And 16 frames is exactly how long it takes for you to walk one tile, which means that if he wants to turn in your direction and you walk to pass him, he will catch you. Which is why it's so important to reset the NPC timing with a bag manip.
Ananan into Fabrina here. As Viroda goes into his Sylph rival.
Things are looking pretty smooth. Kadir going for Water Pulse on that Cubone. That Cubone is a 13 and 16 range to die to bite, which is a little bit faster since you don't get super effective text. Saves about a second and a half. But obviously if you miss that range, you lose 7 seconds because you lost a full turn. Alright, and Ananan is through Sabrina.
Oh, Viroda falling to the Venusaur there.
No. Oh. And this is why Blizzard not a great move. It's almost like X accuracies are a scam.
Shelty, stay tuned for the after show where we'll be sure to address that question. All right, Viroda going through his setup again.
Okay.
Got
nice.
the Blizzard there. All right.
Yeah. So on Viroda's experience route, the pulse route that he's doing, he's still level 44 for this Gyarados, and normally you would be 45. I think he's set up to +2, so he might go for Blizzard, and that's going to be an 11 and 16 range to knock out Gyarados here.
Gets it.
Oh,
crits
nice. It. Really nice.
Kadir through Giovanni there. I saw a split comparison from someone in chat earlier. Ananan had about a 4-minute lead on Viroda and about a 1-minute lead on Kadir, I believe, after the Blaine split. So
I have it here. It looks like Ananan has a little less than a 3-minute lead on Kadir, and Kadir has a little less than a 2-minute lead on Viroda. At least back then. Now it's probably tightened up, or at least between Ananan and Kadir, maybe. But that self-rival death is definitely going to cost Viroda some more time.
And then what was the goal split time that we had?
Oh, yeah, for advancing?
Yeah. Were we at 2:15?
So if both of these runners are... Well, we don't know who's going to win.
Whoever wins gets through.
Yeah. But... For those looking to just advance who don't win, right now the bottom two times are a 2:19.07 and a 2:16.55. So you would have to get higher for sure than both of those times, I believe.
So 2:16.54 is through.
Yeah.
But if one of them gets worse than that,
then you would only have to beat
up by one. Yeah.
Also on the line here, possibly for Ananan. I'm only saying it because he's currently in the lead and around the pace he needs for pot 1. The pot 1 cutoff is 2:11.38. If he gets... Oh, well, I mean 2:11.39. If he gets lower than 2:11.39, then... or anyone who wins this race gets lower than that, they will be pot 1. If they finish after that, they will be a pot 2 runner for round 2.
In my opinion, the only thing that this game does better than Gen 1 is the spinning tile speed. It's so much faster than Gen 1.
Oh, much faster. Yeah.
Ananan safely through his Geo fight, getting the last badge.
See, I'm trying to... Let me see, I have... Oh, what comparison is this? That is not the right comparison. I don't know. Okay, yeah, that one's my PB. So, based on Ananan's pace right now, he is around, I would say... 2:07, 2:08 pace.
So plenty of margin right now for him for the pot 1 cutoff.
Yeah, and that would also mean Kadir is around 2:11 pace ish, assuming things go well from here.
Really solid runs so far for all of these runners, but to have 2 on, that 2:11 pace is really nice. Ananan going into. God, one of the scariest fights.
Yeah. This is...
We had talked earlier about how much we love Blizzard. This is the fight where you love Blizzard the most.
Okay, now imagine. Only like a year and a half to 2 years ago, you would not be X-accuracying your Blizzard for this fight due to the money route. You wouldn't be able to afford the extra X accuracy. Oh, Ananan gets a pretty lucky feather dance there, so he doesn't take an extra turn of damage.
Wow.
And that means in the terrible chance that he misses Blizzard, Razor Leaf will not kill him from here. Unless it crits. But hits.
Very clean.
10 super potions. I think the number was 6, if I remember correctly, and it was just always 6, but now we dropped that down to 5 always, and then we just buy the extra X accuracy. Gyarados, after Sylph Rival, Gyarados never dies in 1 turn. Yeah, that flinch is really nice.
Wow.
That Gyarados can Hydro Pump you, or it can use Rain Dance. Rain Dance is a bit slow because it's just like some extra text that you get every turn. One thing it does let you do though is you wouldn't have to X speed, which is what Ananan's doing here, since Alakazam is faster and Ananan will need to one-shot it when he gets to it. With Rain Dance up, your Surf is powerful enough to knock out Alakazam through a Calm Mind if it reads that it can't knock you out with Psychic.
Kadir completing his Giovanni fight as Ananan gets through Rival. So still about one battle separating each of these runners.
Yeah. And it looks a little bit, or one fight may not sound like a lot, but by the time we get this far into the game, being a fight behind is a little bit more significant because of just how much time you set up on the fight.
Yeah, and there's so much time in between the fights too. Like between your Sylph rival and your first Elite Four fight, you've got several minutes of navigation.
So, and I believe he's teaching Strength right before the water here, and we'll probably use a Super Repel as well.
Yep.
Alright, Kadir going into his Viridian rival fight. Blesses for Blizz hits. This ain't Emerald, no Blizz misses here. So, just accurate Blizzards. Please. Viroda asking if Halos can save him. I'm not gonna say it can't. But it would probably require a bit of extra luck. A Halos is a really cool thing that can happen on the first D4 fight. We'll explain a little bit more when we get there. Ananan's now pushing Strength Boulders in Victory Road. Kadir? Nice.
Gets his Blizzard. Viroda starting his Giovanni fight.
It's actually been, besides Viroda's Blizzard miss on Sylph Rival, it's actually been a pretty good race for Blizzard hits. I think that was the only Blizzard miss I remember. Alright, and Kadir gets Rain Dance here, so from here, Surf could kill Gyarados, Blizzard could also kill. Blizzard's 93% accurate though, so it's a little bit of a risk to use it. A little bit faster, though, since you don't get that not very effective text. Also, so Ananan did... there's two different repel timings that you can do once you get to this part of the game. You can Super Repel before fighting Viridian Rival, or you can Super Repel right as you hit the water after the Erica badge check. If you do it later, then you get tons of extra steps in Victory Road. So mistakes aren't as punishing. You'll never get an encounter. You're only risking 1% encounters before and after Viridian Rival. If you do the super before, you don't risk those 1%, but then your movement has to be perfect in Victory Road and leading up to Victory Road. And even if it is perfect, you still have to risk 2 full odds tiles before you exit Victory Road.
I would never go for that strat personally because my movements are atrocious.
Yeah, it's there's been debate on that one too, on which one's faster on average, since one only deals with 1% tiles, while the other one deals with full odds encounter tiles. But also as well as like punishing if you make a mistake.
All right, Ananan doing some deposits here.
Okay, pretty clean. Yeah, just depositing the pokes since he doesn't want them to appear in the Hall of Fame animation at the end, and it's also a very easy way to free heal Blastoise. 15 full restores. And Ananan enters E4 at 153.34. It's a pretty decent time.
All right, do we want to discuss Halos?
Sure thing. So, Ananan might be going for a version of Lorelei strats called Koga strats, and that helps your chances of getting Halos. And now Halos is a version of the Lorelei fight where Dugong never uses Hail, and it's really good to see because Hail, you get damaged every single turn, and it's also extra text at the end of every turn, so it's just much, much slower. So Ananan set up to +2, gets a flinch. That's really, really nice. Biting again. I think that's okay. I don't believe that's heal range. I think he's fine. Yeah, okay. So the way Pokeguy strats work is a Dugong would normally have a chance to hail every turn, but if you hit it below 40% HP, it can never use hail. Because its smart AI won't let it. It'll use a damaging move instead.
Ananan gets it.
Yeah, Ananan gets Hailless. Saying classic tourney race Lorelei. Koistler. Oh, double protect! Wow. Yep.
That's rough.
Yeah, Hailless into double protect is basically like you either broke even or slightly lost time. Looks like Viroda also got through his Viridian Rival Blizzard.
Oh yeah.
Kind of scary X speeding there because only at 30 HP. But luckily Growlithe just wants to be faster. Alright, so Ananan at this defense is safe from a Body Slam crit, which is really good, and he's very likely to tank 2 Body Slams. So flinches aren't necessary, but he's really hoping to not get paralyzed.
There's a flinch.
So that flinch is so sweet.
There's a
double
flinch.
Wow.
So we get Hailless into double protect into double flinch on the Lapras.
That was a roller coaster on Lorelei for Ananan. So 78 HP here is kind of awkward because there's 3 different strategies that you can use for Bruno. You can full restore turn 1, you can go for high HP strats, or you can go for mid HP strats. So Ananan, I think took into account his HP and defensive IVs there, knowing that the full restore turn 1 strats probably wouldn't work because he wouldn't be taking enough damage, and instead he's supering and he's going to try high HP strats.
Kadir now doing his deposits.
Okay, so and on this one, he should just be setting up 2x specials. Oh, Rock 2 miss is not what you want to see. You want to predict getting the damage. So really bad to see these misses. He's now set up to +3. Wow. Onyx whiffed on all 3 Rock Tombs so far.
It's
this
one
is
there.
Not great. Yeah.
157-18 Lorelei entrance.
So Ananan setting up a guard spec there because he still needs to speed since he got his speed dropped. But if he speeds right away, then Onyx is going to want to Rock Tomb him the following turn to lower his speed again. And depending on, like, he doesn't want his speed lowered again after you X speed, and you also want to make sure you take the right amount of damage into a high enough level of Torrent for this fight as well as the next fight. Kadir getting unlucky getting Hail on one of the first 2 turns, so can't even try and go for Pokeguy strats. Okay, Kadir should be all set up. And into serve. Oh, crit surf. That's not good. Luckily from Kadir's defense and the fact that he's going to level up again before Lapras comes out, he definitely won't be in body slam kill range, but he will be in range to a crit death, which doesn't happen all the time, but can really, really bring you down just because of how far into the fight a death like that is. You lose about 2.5 minutes to a death like that.
What's our over-under on Agatha deaths here?
I would say 1. Or I would say a half a death. So you would have to pick at least 1 death. Agatha's a very fun fight because we have to set up a speed and a special, and if we're not in Shadow Punch kill range, then it wants to spam double team. Ah, nice. Ananan getting through first try.
Really
That's
good
what
hit.
you always want to see. Yeah, so that fight can, because Agatha likes to spam double team, sometimes it's literally just like playing the lottery, like when is the next surf going to hit? Hopefully it does. Because if you start missing, the Gengar can just keep double teaming, and eventually it's at like 4, 5, 6 double teams. Or it could throw in a random Shadow Punch too, which can sometimes affect the fight and how you want to play it depending on what healing items you have. So Kadir's at 44 health and paralyzed. I wonder if... Okay, so he's going to full restore here. Really hoping for not paralysis right here. Nice, okay.
Viroda threw his deposits.
Alright, so Kadir's HP is a little bit high here, but it should be kind of close to okay for high HP strats. And his HP and defense IV are definitely too high to do full restore turn 1 strats. So yeah, I think saving before Bruno is definitely the right play. A bunch of random bad things can just happen on Bruno that will ruin your setup while you're in the middle of it, and then adjusting on the fly is kind of hectic because you have to not get speed dropped twice.
So, Lance, this fight has another very important blizzard for us.
Yes. Actually, multiple. There's 2 different strategies for Lance. You can do a safe Lance fight, where you're going to use 2 blizzards to knock out this Gyarados, as well as Bite. And then there's a risky Lance, where you use 2 bites and 1 blizzard to knock out the Gyarados. And then setting up X special turn 1, so he's going to be going for risky. Seeing Bite is really good. That Gyarados, if you're not in Hyper Beam kill range, will only use Bite or Dragon Rage. And I really wants to see a flinch here. Oh no!
Ooh.
Wow, that's terrible. So Ananan's not in Hyper Beam range here, but with that crit Bite, really unfortunate he knocked Lance into heal range. So he's gonna have to basically try do over the strat again and just hope for no crit. Also potentially could have been really good if he hadn't crit, because it was setting up to be a healless Lance. And I'm not going to take any risks. He's got a pretty decent lead, so just going to play safe and full restore here on Gyarados. So those bite rolls look pretty good. The reason why we say this is a risky Lance strat is because it's a range to knock out with Bite Blizzard. At 31 special attack, which is what all of our runners have here, it is about an 82 to 84% range to 3-hit it with that combo. If you bring 30 special attack and you decide to do risky strats, it goes down to 72% for that combo to work out successfully.
Viroda getting a flinch on that Lapras there. Gets through
Very
his
nice.
Lorelei flight. Kadir is through Bruno.
So Viroda here is definitely already at too low of HP for Bruno, so he needs to heal in some way. But since he has a mild here, full restore turn 1 strats are going to be perfect if that's what he wants to go for. Okay, well, full restoring before the fight isn't optimal if you're gonna heal to full. The way full restore turn 1 strats work are that you take that piece of damage on that turn you full restore, and that helps set up Torrent later, because after the initial Rock Tomb damage, Onyx is going to do about 90 damage in Earthquake to you, and that usually hits you down to nice Torrent, which is why you would want to full restore in fight instead of outside of it.
It's a very interesting application of how the game, how you're stacking the things that happen in the game. Again, just an example of a small optimization that, you wouldn't really think about. If I'm healing, what's it matter? Well, everything is in pursuit of getting set up to get back into Torrent, so you can do more damage later.
Yeah, exactly. Ananan threw Lance, so only 1 fight left. The champion, Kadir, missed a few times on Gengar, but is finally through. And Viroda knocks out Onyx out 105 HP, which is a little monka. Oh, it looks like he set up extra X-Specs, so I think he's fine.
Cat Raves.
Because otherwise that Hitmonchan wouldn't have fallen. Cat Rave, Sour Please, let's see it all. Spitball, do you want to talk about the champ fight?
Oh god, I know so much about it. We do setups. The Pidgeot's scary. It knows Aerial Ace and can get a couple of hard ones in. But again, setting up so many special attacks for the Blizzard on... Sorry, I got caught up watching that surf.
So from Viroda. Viroda, it turns out, was not at a high enough special to for sure knock out Machampo's range. But gets through.
Here comes our Blizzard from Ananan.
Nice. Gets through. That's the most dangerous part of the champ fight, is whether you hit that Blizzard or not. So Venusaur at this point only has Solar Beam, so he'll always take a turn to charge it up, but he's not always guaranteed to use it. Funny thing, you could see Growth, which is hilarious, which means you got a free turn on Venusaur. Alright. Viroda entering Agatha, Kadir entering Lance, and Ananan also facing a Gyarados.
I don't think Viroda saved before the Agatha fight.
Okay. It could be fine. He's at least in really high Torrent, so he's not likely to see a Shadow Punch.
Still always gets... you get a little Monka there because, again, we're... At this point, if you're not really in contention to win the thing, you want to make sure that you hit that safety 215 time.
Yeah.
So, and you're cutting it kind of close, but I still think he's on track.
All right, so Ananan is in range to E-Speed crit here, but doesn't even see it.
Wow.
Really nice.
Ananan.
So that's GG to Ananan. A 208. It was a really solid race by Ananan. Played really cleanly. There weren't too many mistakes. There was a couple of slow fights, but this is a really solid time. Also secures pot 1. Alright, Kadir hits Blizzard on Dragonite, which can be a little bit scary. We also didn't mention it on Ananan's previous Lance fight, but this Aerodactyl at the end could use Ancient Power. We don't see it here, but we've seen Ancient Power be used, and Aerodactyl getting the boost to every single stat before, which can be bad. Alright, Ananan splitting at 2:08:28. We're going to add 25 seconds to that time, so that's actually going to be a 2:08:53, which is the third best finishing race time of this round, only behind Shiru and Huanli. So let's mark.
Yeah, my controls are locked up.
Mine are too. Okay,
there we go.
It now says Ananan done. Yeah. Okay, Kadir now entering his champion fight. Viroda dealing with Lance. I think Viroda got a bite crit turn 1. Ooh, that was not the right play. That's okay. It gets really complicated if you get a crit you're not expecting on any of these E4 fights, because sometimes it could be really bad, like in Ananan's case, where you see it get hit in the heal range, so it has to heal, and it's just so slow you have to do everything over again. But other times it could just ruin the strategy setup.
Viroda catching the Hyper Beam miss there from Gyarados.
That's very nice. Alright, we're gonna see if we can get Ananan in here. Okay, perfect. Alright, hello Ananan. Congrats on your race win.
TY.
GG's, man. That was a great race.
I was with a lot of ups and downs, honestly. Like, damn.
Just,
I haven't had one of those in a long time, but...
Walk us through the emotions on the Lorelei fight there, where you get Halus and then immediately get the double safeguard. Or a double protect.
Yeah, into double flinch on Lapras was like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. No, I mean, the entire run was like that. Like, I get a decent route 1 with both catches and 2 level 3 rats, which makes a huge difference. Get an encounterless forest, which was, damn, like, my third ever, I think. Into like scratch from Liam because I missed a range, into heal on Onyx Rock to miss.
Yeah.
So that was kind of depressing. Yeah. Moonrocket is a bad fight. I don't know. It's like,
yeah, you grab revive and save before the fight.
Yeah. And got Hyper Flinch. Turn 1. Good stuff.
Viroda taking care of the Aerodactyl there.
Alright, Kadir is out of E-Speed crit range, so Kadir is going to be finishing right here, so GG's Kadir.
Yeah, GG. Looks good.
Viroda will be cutting it pretty close here. Lance, though.
Yeah, not saving, which is definitely the right decision to play for advancement.
It's gonna be fine.
This is very exciting.
Everything's fine as long as you hit the
race.
blizzards.
Everything to play for, just hit the blizzards. It's easy.
Exactly.
I will say that I said the natures don't make too much of a difference throughout the course of the run, just hit your ranges and don't die. But Mild definitely takes a step back when it comes to the E4, because besides Lorelei, all the damage you're taking is physical. So you're going to be taking a lot more of it if you're Mild compared to Rash. Oh, a lucky sand attack there for Viroda. He wasn't fully set up, if I recall correctly, right?
You're finishing up there.
A 2:12:58.
Good.
Viroda catching a growth.
Very nice.
Oh,
Come on!
God bless
Okay,
our growth.
Yeah, a 93% blizzard.
All right.
Okay.
Whew.
Wow. That was scary.
Is he at +2 because this is not torrent, so he's gonna have a hard time dealing with Sam here.
Ooh. You are right. This is a 50-50 range on Alakazam.
Gets a
Oh,
crit.
crits.
Easy game.
Okay,
Easy game, easy
I
game,
just
easy
hope
game.
he remembers to double Blizzard Gyarados. Which is something that a lot of people forget, depending on, like... Because you never know. Like, it always depends on the Pidgeot whether you're going to end up going at +2 or +3. And at +2, Bite plus Blizzard is only going to knock Gyarados into heal range. Oh, wait. Iron pointed out that this is barely Torrent. It's literally 1 HP in Torrent.
Ah, yeah, it was. Sure, yeah. 168. That works,
Nice.
I guess.
Hey. Oh, Frozen
Frozen
Gyarados.
Solid.
Nice.
Okay, even better. Viroda is completely safe now for
Wow.
E-Speed crit,
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Viroda
GG.
will finish.
Will finish, and
And that looks like an advancing time.
yeah, he needs 2:16:29 on his timer, I think.
Yeah, and should definitely get that. Very nice. Also, and I gotta ask, were you planning, or were you surprised when you didn't see E-Speed at the end, or were you kind of...
I was figuring he's
Expecting it.
gonna go for Flamethrower. And
Okay,
also
yeah.
I did get the level up before Arcanine, so I was like, I'm not gonna die to a crit. So, like, I think with level 56 you get a little bit higher damage roll, where I was in crit kill range. But with level 57 I was like, nah, I'm just gonna go for this. It's not gonna E-Speed anyways. So,
Ananan, is there a significance to renaming Blastoise to Moon?
yeah, there is.
Cool.
Let's see.
I didn't think asking Kadir for an invite would get copy-pasted, but this is the FireRed LeafGreen race tournament. And that's what we do.
Shout out again to SpeedGaming mods for some reason continuing to put up with us year after year.
Yes. Alright, here's Viroda.
Let's see if we can smash that A button. Bam!
1605. Alright.
All 3 runners through.
Should be in, right?
Yeah, that is through, even with the 25-second added penalty.
Nice.
So...
Love to see it.
Oh, wait. We need a... Okay. There we go. You know, Mark Viroda is done as well.
Yeah, I was clicking on it, but it's like doing the lag thing
Yeah.
again.
Okay. Kadir, welcome. Congrats on your race.
Hello, welcome everyone.
Gee.
GG's,
Yes.
guys.
Thank you, GG's to everyone. Yeah. The
See if
thing
we
is,
can-
I was since around the rock tunnel split, I had to key very badly, and that's the reason I was away for a bit.
Oh, okay, all good. And welcome in, Viroda.
Hello.
Congrats on
GG's,
your race
Viroda.
finish.
Thank you. Thank you.
Getting through by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah, not the proudest run of my life, but it
So-
was a run.
So going back to earlier in the run, all 3 of you were on the HMO1 cutscene at the same time.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
saw
were
that. That was sick.
literally on the same text box at one point of the race, and then things started to shake out from there. But a lot of awesome surges from each of you, even though you did them at different times. You all had excellent cans.
Yeah, it was decent. Really early, first one, and then second try, I think. So definitely
Yeah.
not the worst. So
I think
All right.
mine was the third one, and the first one I checked after was the right one. So not bad.
We are getting...
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a race here on this channel at 7 p.m. Any last words from any of the runners?
The race selection thing is gonna be like literally right now, right?
It's going to be an hour from now.
In an hour. And where is that?
It should be on the PSR TV channel, if I recall correctly. And if not, it'll be on Kid Rocker's channel. But if you want to know for sure, go to the FireRed LeafGreen Race Discord, and it'll be known there for sure.
Awesome.
I'd like to thank all of our runners today. If anybody in the chat is feeling generous, hit up the Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen tournament page at Match Arena to donate to the prize pool to give these guys something to fight for. And thank you to Mockwing for supplying the actual knowledge for this commentary.
Thank you, Spitball. You're a great commentary partner. And racers, you guys put on a really entertaining race.
Yeah, great job on commentating.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good commentary.
Thank you guys so much. I guess that's it from us.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up and send it back to the SpeedGaming team. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you for the round 2 draws in an hour.